Let's get into quickly on a rundown of the current status of the case. I was looking at this story right here. XRP, of course, SEC and Ripple break silence. These are the third-party filings that I'm sure you guys have talked quite a bit about. There is some interesting statements in here, and interestingly enough, I want to kind of zoom in on this, and that is that the SEC kind of almost puts in that little bit of a dig in there that says the last line is clearly a threat directed over to you, John. So what is going on here with this?
Well,
it seems like it's all out war right now.
Yeah, I'm not popular. Well, I kind of am popular, I guess, at the SEC, but not necessarily in a
Not in the
positive
right
way. Right. Well, it depends on your perspective. I kind of
That's
take
right.
it as a
That's right.
badge of honor. However, basically, that filing by the SEC was basically them letting the court know the Digital Chamber of Commerce had filed an amicus brief, and the SEC was letting the judge know that they don't object or take a position as to what the Digital Chamber of Commerce had to say. However, if there are any other amicus briefs, they reserve the right to ask for more time, and they reserve the right to ask the court for more pages to be allowed to respond to a further amicus brief. And everybody knows that I'm in the case as amicus counsel, so I intend to file an amicus brief. And that was basically taking a shot. And in my opinion, Paul, it's a disgraceful way of creating anxiety on these XRP holders who the SEC swore to protect. They could disagree with me all they want, but I do have 73,000 of the people that they swore an oath to protect. And they know that this case has been going on for 2 years, and they know that delay causes anxiety. So even though my amicus brief will not cause any delay whatsoever in this case, it will not extend the case one day. They throw that out there, I think, as a FU to the XRP holders because, for whatever reason, and it's a disgrace and it's a shame, and they shouldn't do that. They should just simply say, we want to add we might ask for more pages, Judge, to respond to Deaton. That's all they have to say.
Yeah, it's simple and to the point, and the way that you should be doing it. When you look at the summary judgment scenario that's in play right now, what does that mean to the Ripple case as it is today, and what do you think is going to happen next?
Yeah, well, a couple quick comments. What you said, you support innovation, I support innovation. If the SEC would have taken this case and said, Ripple, we didn't like this kind of promotion, or we didn't like this or this, pay this fine, here's some guidelines for all future entrepreneurs, you and I would have applauded that, and many people would have.
What's up, guys? It's now time for us to wake up and finally see the truth. The SEC is directly slowing this case, and now the whole world can see it. That's technically the reason why they have their guns blazing at John Deaton, because with John's advice to the court, I don't see this case dragging any further. So it's either the SEC goes for a settlement and we move on. Also, was it so hard for the SEC to simply fine Ripple and its CEOs than to create a law to govern securities and non-securities and how they should be regulated in this new era? The SEC shouldn't be afraid of admitting they were behind in terms of regulation and own it. Then take the necessary steps to implement regulations. So why are they going after Ripple in the first place? What's the end goal for this? Anyway, let's roll that intro and get into today's video. As always, welcome to Money Side, your favorite crypto news channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you get updates when we drop new videos. Don't forget to smash that like button, and you can always leave a comment or a question or a suggestion in the section below. XRP has started a bullish trend if you check out the last 7 days chart. So are you guys ready for what's about to happen if Ripple wins this case?
John, when you get into this point here of the aspect of the summary judgment versus a potential settlement. Now, likelihood we'll get a summary judgment or could get a summary judgment. Would Ripple want, let's say that the summary judgment, the SEC understands they're going to lose on a summary judgment position from the judge. Would they try to do a Hail Mary and do a settlement with Ripple? And do you think Ripple would respond with a settlement agreement?
Yeah, I think that Ripple would absolutely settle. I've said for a long time, I think that Brad Garlinghouse, if the SEC came to the table right now and said, will you agree to pay $100 million for sales in 2013 to 2015 when the ecosystem was, so young? And Ripple would respond, if you agree that ongoing and future sales of XRP are not a security. If those two things met, I think Brad Garlinghouse would write a check today, even if they have momentum in the case, because it gives them certainty. And he has a fiduciary duty to Ripple shareholders, not XRP holders, but to Ripple shareholders. And if he could get that kind of, certainty, then look how successful they've been without certainty in the United States. Imagine what they could accomplish if they were given that, every future sale of XRP and ongoing sales, there would be liquidity in the United States would return. Coinbase would relist, Kraken would relist. So yes, the question is, and the real dynamic part is, when Gensler wants to go after all these other cryptos, how does he settle after calling XRP a security, litigating, tens of millions of dollars, and then agrees that ongoing sales of XRP are not a security, but then XLM is, or Algo is, or Ether is? It's a very, you'd have to really thread the needle on there, right? It's possible. And I think that's why I think that we need those emails and the judge to order that, and the SEC to be out of time on the delay clock, and then be faced with, okay, we have to turn this over to Ripple, which might give them a victory for sure, or we settle and take the political win. And I think when Gensler is faced with a huge political loss versus a huge political win, he's going to take it, right?
Take the win.
Because I think that he's hoping that he gets a win in Ripple or Library, because then he can say to the regulators, look, this federal judge agreed that Library credits is a security, or that XRP is a security. The SEC is the right agency to regulate this. That's his goal. Now, you and I believe, I think, and I don't want to speak for you, but I believe ultimately when this war is over, that it'll land in the CFTC's pocket. I think ultimately that'll happen. And the only thing that the SEC should maybe be in charge of is pure ICOs. Someone's going to raise a pure ICO, and the technology's not yet developed, and they're crowdfunding for that. That's the jurisdiction that maybe they can maintain. But cryptocurrencies that have been in trading now, like XRP and ETH and Algo and all of them, for almost a decade or more than a decade, they really are more akin to commodities and should go to the CFTC.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Imagine how successful Ripple will be once there's enough clarity in regulations. Guys, keep holding on to your cryptos, because it's about to go down. Before we proceed any further, let's have a look at this video by John Deaton. And in my opinion, he has a strong point. We've never seen the Hinman emails, so we can't expect a settlement at this point, only a judgment.
If they're not forced to turn over those documents, then I don't believe there's going to be a settlement. I believe that we're going to get a judgment from the judge. So it all depends on when she rules. That decision on the Hinman emails is due any day. It could be out today, but she could take another month, and then there's potential appeals or avenues. The SEC could delay it for a couple more months before they exhaust all their delay tactics.
As we wind down on today's video, we have a tweet here from Crypto Bitlord that says XRP is breaking out. If they win the case, you need to strap yourself in. XRP has broken out from a short-term pattern and could soon break out from a long-term descending resistance line. The critical court case between the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, and Ripple Labs could soon be coming to a close. On September 18th, Ripple defense attorney James K. Filan tweeted that the CEO of Ripple Labs, Brad Garlinghouse, had filed an early motion for a summary judgment. The next day, Caroline D. Pham, a commissioner from the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, met with Brad Garlinghouse. This comes after the news that both Ripple and the SEC had asked a judge to settle their ongoing lawsuit. The crypto community has a positive outlook for the case. Some suggest that the price will cross the 40 cents threshold if a settlement is reached. Additionally, they are optimistic about the possibility of a settlement due to the fact that Ripple Labs is arguing that there is no investment contract in place. As a result, the summary judgment motion is considered a smart tactic that could lead the SEC settling the case once and for all.
We see the race is on as to whether or not the rules will be written by regulators enforcing their existing rules, or whether they'll be written by folks like Mr. McHenry here and his colleagues in Congress.
It's my hope that it's Congress that does this, because if Gary Gensler thought he had authorities to go after crypto in the way that he talks, he would have already done it, and they have not. In fact, we're sitting before the word Ripple, which is the big case that is roiled the Securities Exchange Commission and their very aggressive original approach that branches administrations. But if Chair Gensler was capable, with the laws that exist, to do the things that he says, he would have already done them. I think it's really important that we have Congress define what's a digital asset and then separate out what is a security, what is a commodity. In all the work product from the administration, they say, we have to answer this question, and they don't answer the question because it's hard. It is now the work of Congress in a bipartisan, bicameral way to actually do that hard work to give form to the digital asset ecosystem. First step is stable coins, the next step is market structure, as you mentioned at the beginning, and then the trade-offs along the way to make sure that we actually support innovation, which is not a part of any of the solutions put forward by the administration so far. It's all bad. That is the default position. It's like 85-15 for these executive orders on this world is horrible, without really spending more time than the just 15% that there might be some benefit from it. I think we've got to make sure there's balance here, that we get the benefit of this technology here in the United States with our rule of law, our speech rights, our property rights, the constitutional checks and balances that we build into our system that we then export around the globe. I'd rather do that than having foreign imports of bad policy and bad regulation.
Well, unfortunately, we are running low on time now.
As always, do your own research. Always trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. You can always let us know what you think in the comment section below, and let's have a conversation. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, and please click on that subscribe button below and turn on notifications so you get informed whenever we post our amazing content. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next Money Side.